Lifestyle changes, first you have to start with your why. Why are we doing these changes? Some of you may want to improve brain, mental, and physical health, improve longevity, improving the abilities at the later ages to prevent disabilities. And then also, thinking of those benefits beyond yourself, we want to preserve the planet for future generations and live a lifestyle that is kinder and gentler to people around the world, to the environment, and to animals. So, this presentation is based on the work of Dan Buettner and National Geographic, who in 2005 published a National Geographic issue talking about the work of Dan Buettner and National Geographic um, on finding the highest percentage of centenarians, those who live beyond 100. Dan Buettner went on to write a series of books, and he gave lectures worldwide on the topic of lifestyle and longevity. And what he found were 5 identified blue zones, areas of the world where longevity and vitality are the norm, including Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Ikaria, Greece, the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica, and in the US, even Loma Linda, California. And most recently, this was presented on Netflix, the series called Live to 100 Secrets of the Blue Zones. And I hope you all have a chance to watch. And on this series, they found longevity principles that are very nicely delineated in the series. These are some of the lifestyle principles that are found in the blue zones that were common. First of all, natural movement. There was no gym or exercise on those small islands. However, the natural movement, for example, the slope of the land made an influence, a sense of purpose in life, um, generations living with each other and having a sense of purpose. The idea of downshifting and relaxation was very prominent. And the social and family cohesion was outstanding. Many of these communities had faith-based communities as well and gatherings. And what we will focus on in the second part of the presentation is a plant predominant diet. And the common aspects were including legumes, beans, lentils, peas, and soy foods. These principles are echoed in the American College of Lifestyle Medicine principles. So the easy way to remember are feet, exercise, fingers, such as no substances such as tobacco and alcohol, moderation, forks, which is plant-based diet, adequate sleep, and stress management, as well as healthy relationships. And on the other side of this slide, you can see Rochester Lifestyle Medicine combining the two, including some aspects of blue zones, as well as American College of Lifestyle Medicine. So please connect with us at Salient Lifestyle Center. You can find us at meetup.com/salient-center, Facebook page, facebook.com/salient-center, Eventbrite, salient.eventbrite.com. And also you can reach me at Dr. Garg at salient.center. So we hope you keep in touch for future programs and also view our past programs on YouTube. We will have question and answer after this presentation is finished. So please log in to Vimeo and hit the chat button and please ask us your questions anytime. And now I'd like to introduce 𝗟𝗏𝗄 𝗏𝗪𝗻, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, Food for Life instructor. This is a very elite group in the US, and she has obtained this privilege. Thank you. Thank you, 𝗟𝗏𝗄.
Thank you, Dr. Garg. Welcome, everybody. As Dr. Garg said, if you haven't gotten an opportunity to watch the series by Dan Buettner, please do spend some time. and watch the series. It's very, very well done, and it sort of encourages us to, if you have not already shifted to a plant predominantly diet or a lifestyle, and it also tells us about what other aspects are necessary for living a healthy life up to 100. We all want to be are in the state of denial that death is never going to happen to us, but it's going to happen, it's inevitable. But it's one thing to live till 100 all healthy, and one thing, the other hand, to live till 100 but the last 20 years of your living to 100 you going after doctors and hospitals and things like that. So I'm just going to keep it really brief, but on the flip side, one of the aspects, there are multiple aspects to living till 100. One of the aspects is going to be about focusing on what we eat and how we feed our body and heal our bodies. So today I'm going to be showing a few recipes from the Blue Zone lifestyle, which I have tweaked it a little bit and made it, customized it to my preferences and my liking, and I hope you get something out of it. So the first thing when we try to switch to a lifestyle is, what am I going to have for breakfast? Because we are all so used to taking a box of cereal or one of those instant, off the shelf stuff, pouring a glass of milk, warming it up, or having it cold. It's the easiest. And we do that with our kids. We do that for ourselves. Unfortunately, that is just a box full of sugar and processed food. So the first thing we need to eliminate when we are trying to break the fast early morning is to come up with alternatives to, switch to a healthy lifestyle. So who does not like desserts? We all love desserts. So the recipe that I'm going to show today is the carrot cake oatmeal recipe. It's an overnight carrot cake. And what you can do is you can have this for breakfast, you can take it to work, and on your way to work or after you reach work, you can also enjoy it. So, and it can be had cold. If you prefer it cold, you can have it warm, just warm it up in the microwave and you're good to go. And this is a great meal prep idea because you can do it on a Sunday for the next 5 days. You can send it as lunch for the kids, if they have a sweet tooth and things like that. So as I said, this is a carrot cake that I just prepared it yesterday and just for demonstration purposes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how I prepared it. It's super easy. And just take any mason jar or any bottle which has a airtight lid. And this is a bottle with an airtight lid. This is a mason jar. It doesn't matter. And this is just a 1/4 cup of oats. These are overnight or old-fashioned oats. And I measured everything up front, and the recipe is there on the screen, and we'll be sending you on the chat video the link so you can download all the recipes. This one is just a cinnamon, and it's 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I don't know if you know, cinnamon has the properties that helps reduce blood pressure. So it is recommended that you have at least 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon powder on a daily basis. It does help. So then I'm going to be adding a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. This is the spice that makes it taste like carrot cake. So, and that's it. And then you're going to put the vanilla essence or extract. And it's a 1/4 teaspoon. So and if people are sensitive to vanilla that has a little bit of alcohol, I also have that I bought off of Amazon. They have the vanilla powder. I usually use that, but sometimes for such recipes, it's also easy and convenient to use these extracts. And a tablespoon of maple syrup. And please try to buy the pure maple syrup, not the processed corn syrup flavored maple syrup. That's not the true stuff. So, and then I'm going to add the flaxseed powder, walnuts, this is the 1/4 cup of shredded carrots, And this is just raw carrots, so it's not cooked or anything of that sort. So I did not even steam it, it's just raw. And then I'm going to put a cup of soya milk. So it's recommended that you read the label before you buy soya milk. These days, there are a lot of options for plant-based milk, and there are only like 3 or 4 kinds that I know of that is pure soya milk, and all that it should say, the ingredients should be water and organic soya beans. Always buy soya products, corn products, wheat product, which is organic. The non-organic products are usually grown to feed the cattle, and so there are a lot of pesticides and hormonal ingredients that they do to grow it. So when you're selecting, even when you're buying tofu, try to buy the non-GMO and the organic stuff. So this is just 1 cup of soya milk. And this is a Trader Joe's brand, but you can buy Eden brand that is available at most grocery stores. There's also a brand called West Soy. Buy the original, not the sweetened or the flavored ones, because sometimes they have other ingredients which may not be good for us. So this is it. And then I'm just going to garnish it with some unsweetened shredded coconut and some raisins. And these ingredients, like, if you're allergic, you're trying to avoid coconut, some people have nut allergies, you can always skip it. If you're trying to watch your calories, you can skip the maple syrup. You can add a little bit of date paste if you want, and you can increase or decrease the raisins according to your preference. And as you can see, that is it. You don't even have to shake it, because all the soya milk is going to help soak in all the ingredients and the flavors from the spices that we added. And after that, tomorrow, you're going to get a nice, yummy breakfast. As I said, you can enjoy it cold, hot, dessert, breakfast, it's all up to you. So that's my first dish. Dr. Garg gets to taste the carrot cake recipe after the show. And as Dr. Garg said, if you have any questions while I'm talking, Dr. Garg was talking, please free to ask us. So that way, because sometimes we all tend to forget after the after the presentation is done. I did have a question, and what was that again? So the next one that I'm going to show is just a very simple salad. So we took care of breakfast. Now you're going to say, one thing that all the Blue Zone folks did is they ate minimally processed food. Actually, it was 0 processed food. Everything was natural. Most of the folks actually ate what they grew in their gardens. And the other thing is they almost ate, when they were 80% full, they stopped eating. So that's very important. We have this tendency, for the sake of convenience, we go buy processed food, we're thinking we're eating healthy, and it's human nature when something is tasty, we tend to overeat, which is again not good. So most of the people who lived in the Blue Zone, they ate only when they were up to 80% that they were full. So this is a very easy salad, as I said. So people who are trying to cycle between the different greens, this would be a great option to add it to your weekly purchase or grocery shopping. So as I said, this is just the Radicchio leaves, and this is like super easy. You just take it from, this is a can of garbanzo beans that I just washed and rinsed. If you are meal prepping and you're trying to make it on a weekly basis, you can just make a big batch of garbanzo beans. You can show and use it for other dishes during the week. And the recipe is there on the PDF document, which is there going to be on the chat window. So all that I've done is I have spiced up these acorn squash, and I baked it. for 10 minutes in the oven. And if you can see, there's a theme going on right now. There is the green vegetable, there is beans, which most of the blue zone folks ate a lot of, the legumes, and another kind of carbohydrate or squash. You know, the carbohydrate, I mean, squash does come in the carbohydrate or starch family. So this is the complex. So it's not like the simple ones that we get from processed foods and things like that. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of scallions or onions. And if you don't like the pungent taste of onions, you can skip it, no worries. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of parsley. And then I'm just going to season it a little bit with some cumin powder. Just a sprinkle goes a long way. A little bit of coriander powder. This is the Indian in me who likes to enhance the flavors, so that's the reason. So if you want to skip the cumin and then this is just a sprinkling of salt. You can add chili flakes at this point, but I'm going to avoid it right now. And I'm just going to garnish it with some pomegranate seeds. Pomegranate has a lot of antioxidant elements and factors to it, and it's very good to be having a lot of antioxidants on a daily basis. And then this is the dressing. The dressing recipe as well is on the PDF document. It's just a combination of balsamic vinegar. This is a clear balsamic vinegar, some garlic, salt, pepper, and yeah. So it's there, and you can see how colorful this salad is. And as I said, you can meal prep this again on a weekend and have it during the week. You might want to just, maybe assemble it as we go on a daily basis and just keep all the squash and everything baked and get ready to go. So you can see it's full of flavor, lots of healthy options, and a lot of the different combination of the different herbs and vegetables will add a lot more life to your body and heal your body. So that's the salad. So the third dish that I'm going to show is it's a stew or a soup, whatever you want to call it. It's from the Ikarian society or the island of Greece. And it's called the stew with black-eyed peas. And this is, again, super easy, great meal prep option. I'm just going to add a couple of bay leaves and onion. This is just one large onion that I just chopped up. A great vegetable option. Again, it has a lot of nutrients. I know many folks look at it at the grocery store, never know how to use it, how to cook it. There's various options, and it is one of those vegetables you can add it to salad raw. You don't have to cook it. So you can just shave it and add it to any salad of your choice. And in this case, I'm just adding it to the stew. So this is one. Then cook the black-eyed peas. But today, because we don't have 90 minutes to wait for the beans to cook, I've already cooked the beans, so just to make it easier. And at this point, I'm also going to add the carrots. The Blue Zone documentary, you would have noticed that they do use a little bit of oil in their cooking. I have been trained to not use oil in any of my cooking, and it works really well. And if you think that you see a little bit of browning and you need to add some oil, or you think you need to add some oil, just add some good old water, and it works great. So, and you might say, why no oil? If you think about it, take an avocado, for example, this, or an olive, for example, and they say that it's healthy fat. And then you might question, why no avocado oil, or why no olive oil? Avocado or olives, they're good fat, but they also contain a lot of fiber in it. And to produce oil, a tablespoon of oil, you need at least 10 olives. So what happens is all the fiber is extracted and you're just left with pure fat, which is artery clogging, body clogging, and causes a lot of inflammation. So you don't need the oil, and you can cook pretty much anything without oil. So as I said, you can add salt at this point. I did not add any salt when I was cooking the black-eyed peas, but you can skip. Of tomato paste and also the tomato. Also, and all that you have to do is in the saute mode of the Instant Pot, just switch that on, wait for the pot to get a little hot. You saute your vegetables. Even in that, you don't need any use of oil, just use water. Just saute it, and after you saute it, add the rest of the ingredients. And you can even add raw, just soaked black-eyed peas, and it works really well. So I'm just going to scrape all this off. Going to add the black-eyed peas. This is just 1 cup of black-eyed peas that I soaked and washed, soaked, and then cooked it. I cooked it for 5 minutes in the Instant Pot. And if you don't have an Instant Pot on the gas stove, you can just put it in a pot with 3 times the water and just let it cook. So one of the things that I add to pretty much all our cooking, or most of our cooking, the savory cooking that I do add curcumin, and curcumin is 99% turmeric and 1% black pepper powder. The reason you have to take the curcumin is the black pepper powder actually helps the body absorb the benefits or the health benefits of turmeric. So it's very, so if you can't find curcumin, at a local grocery store or on Amazon, you can just buy the organic turmeric powder and then just mix it with a little bit of black pepper powder. So it has a lot of anti-cancerous, anti-inflammation properties, turmeric powder. So I think I may not have added this to my recipe, but it's pretty tasteless, so it's not going to change the taste of your dish. So just going to enhance the health benefits of it. So at this point, I'm just going to add dill leaves, just 2 tablespoons of dill leaves. I don't know if there are any pregnant moms out there or lactating moms. Dill leaves has this property which actually helps mom produce a lot more milk. So just a side note, so I'm just going to add a lot of water because this is supposed to be a stew. and I'm just going to let it simmer. This will take about 15-20 minutes, so I'm just going to keep it on the other side, so that way I'm just going to add it at this point because most the black-eyed peas has already cooked. This is just dino always include some kind of green at every meal. It has a lot of health benefits. And Dr. Eselstyn, who is the heart specialist out of Cleveland Clinic, he always recommends at least 3 to 5 servings of any kind of kale or cruciferous vegetable steamed for 5 minutes and just pour some kind of balsamic vinegar, pure balsamic vinegar, and that actually helps produce nitric oxide, which is good for our hearts. So just going to push it on the other side. The last dish that I'm going to make is a purple sweet potato dish. Okinawa, the people, the islands of Japan, the folks from Okinawa, they used to eat a lot of, or they used to, but they still do, a lot of purple sweet potato. And I know sometimes it's very hard for folks to find it like, oh, I just don't feel like eating sweet potato. I know I'm one of those. I need flavor. I need spices when I'm eating any kind of dish. So I just can't eat a sweet potato just for the sake of eating a sweet potato. So this is, in Hindi, we say sabzi. It's like a side dish, but you can actually eat it as a main course and just have like half your plate, you fill it up with, say, a stew or a salad, and the other half you can have this side dish. So for the first ingredient for this is, as you see, my pan has no oil, nothing of that sort. This is a dish that is like grocery stores. I know where I live, mostly it's found in Whole Foods. And if you're unable to find it, you can use any kind of sweet potato or potatoes. Sweet potato would be preferred that you can use. So as I'm waiting for that to roast, as we said earlier, if you guys have any questions, we'll answer all the questions in the end. Dr. Garg is kind enough to stay back till my cooking demo is done. And again, you can see how which is nothing but seasoning. And usually folks, what happens is when I tell them that I don't use oil, they just skip this process. You don't have to. It takes a little bit of patience because when you add oil and you try to roast this, it goes much faster. So here you might need maybe a couple of more extra just to dry roast this. So this is another vegetable that I'm sure many of you guys just look at it at a grocery store, don't end up buying it as often as, we should buy it. These are called leeks. It's just a long stem. You just have to cut it in the center and thoroughly rinse and wash it maybe a couple of times in cold water. The reason you have to cut it and then wash it and chop it up because it does have a little bit of dirt usually inside the stem and the stalk of it. So, and you can use the green portion, white portion, it does not matter. So this is 2 big bulbs of leek. And switch the leek to the fennel. If the fennel is not available, you can add some other kind of like scallions or green leafy vegetable or spring onion. or the onion, which has the big white bulb, like an onion bulb. So you can add whatever flavors you want. And here you can add a pinch of salt. I'm just going to add a little bit. The salt actually helps the vegetable cook a little faster, especially these greeny leafy vegetables. Do you guys have any other questions? Keep, adding it in. So, and then, as I said, this is my last dish. So, this is the reason I'm laughing is it's not the caraway pans that usually it's very expensive, and I know it's available at Costco too. This is actually one of those knockoffs of caraway pans. It's called 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗄 or 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗄𝗡. It's available at Costco, at the Costco stores for $49. And I know caraway pans such size usually goes upwards of $100 and $120. So I prefer these pans because if there are a couple of scratches, I can always easily toss it out and go get a new pan for $49 versus if it's $120, $150, it hurts. So, and so it works really well when you're using zero oil. So, Dr.
Thank you, everyone. This looks absolutely delicious.
Yeah, so I'm going to complete, as you're talking, I'm just going to complete the
So I just wanted to go back a little bit to that question about which milk to use. So first of all, a word about lactose is not present in plant-based milk. It's only present in cow's milk or other animal milks. And would you believe that, do you know how many % of the world's people cannot digest lactose? Would you take a guess, 𝗍𝗲𝗄𝗏?
Oh, me?
Yes.
I think 95%.
So actually worldwide, it's close to somewhere around 75 to 80%. And actually, we say the word lactose intolerance as if it's a disease. What would you say?
Actually, it's not a disease. It is, we are not meant to be drinking another animal's milk, whether it is cow's milk, goat milk, it doesn't matter. So, and unfortunately, when a baby is born and they have their mom's breast milk, and if the mom herself does not or is not being diagnosed that she's lactose intolerant, guess what happens? Sometimes the baby also has all types of colicky issues and things like that, and we think the baby is colicky or having indigestion issues. It's actually the lactose that the baby is getting from the mom's breast milk. So, so
the proper word should be lactase persistent to indicate the mutation that was formed about 6,000 years ago in human history. The University of Chicago researchers laid this out some 15 years ago. So as far as soya, there's some people who are allergic to soy. The top allergens include dairy, egg, soy, nuts, sesame, etc. So if someone's allergic to soy, it's no problem. There are oat milk, there's almond milk, there's so many others.
Coconut milk.
Milks.
Yeah, coconut milk has a little more saturated fat, but there's even rice milk. And when it comes to tofu, I know some people love tofu, but they're allergic to soya products. These days at the store, you get chickpea tofu, and it's super easy to even make chickpea tofu at home. You just grind and blend any kind of lentil, like the orange lentil or the chickpea, and then in a saucepan, just keep stirring it around till you get that thick consistency. Then just put it in a pan and let it set for a couple of hours, and then just cut it and use it the way you would prepare tofu.
And same way. There's pumpkin seed tofu that's available already made. People have made red lentil tofu, so no problem. If soya is an allergy, there are so many other alternatives. It is not an essential part of plant-based diet.
That's correct.
Because there are so many legumes. And if someone is allergic to all legumes, there are options too. So, we know there are allergens. So PCRM actually has a model for those people that are highly allergic to all the common allergens. And that's called Universal Meals. You can find more at universalmeals.com. So, yeah, and the other question was about the no potatoes, no rice, or healthy whole grain bread. So there are potatoes. These are sweet potatoes. And as far as rice, I would say whole grain rice. There's so many.
Yeah, there's red rice, black rice,
brown
brown
rice.
rice. And
Right.
then these days you get millets at every grocery store.
Right.
So quinoa is a great option. If you go to any Indian store, you get a lot of different kinds of millets. And that's
Right.
what I prefer eating these days.
Right.
Instead of eating brown rice, and try to buy brown rice that is grown in countries outside the United States. They have a lower percentage of arsenic, pesticides in it. So,
and there's so many other options, including riced cauliflower if someone doesn't want rice.
Yes.
So the nice thing is that this diet is adaptable to everything.
Yes.
So the next question is about what breaks down the fiber. So cooking breaks down the fiber, and also, processing, chopping can break down the fiber. And there is absolutely no need for oil to break down the foods, because what we are doing when we are cooking with liquid is the liquid itself is softening the vegetables and breaking down the fiber. And guess what? There is tiny bit of oil naturally present in all vegetables that kind of comes out. So you can see if you ever cook eggplant or onions that a tiny bit of oil seeps out, and that's enough.
And just on that topic, if you guys can see, this is well cooked. I did not use any oil, just the water. And many of these vegetables like fennel or leek, they have a lot of water content. So they actually, when the minute I put a little bit of salt, they actually ooze out the water content, and that is good enough. So at this point, I'm just going to add, this is 2 large purple sweet potato. And I'm just going to add the rest of the spices, which again, my favorite spice, Indian spice, the curcumin or turmeric with black pepper. And this is just lemon juice. And if you're trying to avoid salt, you can increase the amount of lemon juice. And somebody just told me, actually, one of the board members of Salient Center told me that there is tasty, what is it called? Tasty table tasting. So you can
salt substitute.
It's a great salt substitute
with nutritional yeast and other vegetables.
It's completely made out of vegetables, so there are no processed ingredients in it. And at this point, I'm just adding cilantro, chopped cilantro, and a little bit of crushed peanuts. And I roasted the peanuts at home. I crushed it myself with the skin and everything. So I did not,
So what we are teaching is not fat-free. Obviously, there is fat in the peanuts, which is healthy fat. It's just the fat comes in a whole package that's already natural.
Yes.
And that way is much healthier than extracting peanut oil, for example.
So, and that's it. That's your side dish if you're trying to avoid.
So one question is, would oat milk with oats be too much? No, there's no such thing as too much oats. You cannot overdose. What would you say, 𝗟𝗓𝗏, as far as the oats? Oats are very gentle on the stomach.
So there are some people, see, again, when we are trying to buy oat products, we have to be careful. I have seen oat milk with a lot of added sugars to it.
Right.
So then people who are diabetic and people who are insulin sensitive, I think that when they drink that oat milk, their insulin spikes. So I think they have to be careful what they eat. And folks who are trying to reverse diabetes and things like that, it would be a good idea to have the CGM machine. That way, maybe, old-fashioned oats spikes their sugar levels, but steel-cut oats does not. And for everything, there's an alternative. If you're not able to, consume steel-cut oats, there is buckwheat groats and there are oat groats and things like that. So, the more they are processed, sometimes it does affect our health. So the least amount of processing, I think, does help them. So
right. And the other thing about plant-based milks is they often have emulsifiers and other additives which can cause digestive sensitivity. For those people, it is so easy if you have a high-speed blender like Vitamix or Blendtec that you can make fresh plant-based milk at home from whatever you'd like. or a mixture of things, and then just store it probably for 2 or 3 days max. And then the comment, fiber feeds our intestinal microbes. So what would you say about that?
I think it's a good thing because
Oh,
it
yeah.
helps, remove all the toxins from our body. So, yeah. I think folks who tend to eat less fiber-rich foods, they have a lot more gut health issues. And I've heard multiple plant-based doctors or even other doctors who say that our second brain is in the gut. This is
Right.
the first brain, second brain. I sometimes even think maybe this is the first brain because without this, the entire body is not going to
Right.
be processing the way it is supposed to be operating, right? So
Some 95% of Americans don't consume sufficient
yes,
fiber. And that's the bare minimum by
yes.
the USDA standards. What we're recommending is at least double of the USDA, sometimes triple.
And people are so focused on protein. I actually think they need to be more focused on consuming a lot more fiber than the protein intake.
Right.
So we do all of us, none of us are protein deficient. We might be fiber deficient, but yes.
Right. Yeah, I can't think of, in 20 years, someone healthy without chronic disease or severe illness that has been protein deficient.
Yes.
It's always, let's say someone doesn't consume sufficient calories or has digestion problems or cancer. They can be protein deficient, but often they are whole calorie deficient.
Yes. So I don't know if there are any other questions. So I think what breaks down the fiber, yeah.
Oh yeah, we got it. So yeah, thank you everyone for attending.
Yes, and I think there's might be some poll question that we were planning to put up. I don't know if we put it up or not. So
and we hope that you can share your photos with us. Please send us your photos of if you end up making these.
yes,
We'd love to see them.
yeah, put it up on the website or Facebook page. That way, we get to share. And sometimes people, get really innovative. They might tweak the recipe even further. So, I would always love to see such recipes too, because it gives me ideas to change it the next time. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. And it was always fun working with you, Dr. Gsir𝗓. So,
Thank you, everyone.
yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think
One last question. Can calorie deficiency cause fatty liver? Fatty liver is usually a disease of excess. It's a very complicated topic. I could do a whole hour on it. But please, contact your physician, GI physician. And also, you know what? We can always talk offline. Thank you.
And we can also, if there are a lot of interest, we can even do a presentation on that topic. So,
yeah.
So. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I don't know if there are any other questions. So
we are going to have the recipes available for you, so you can make this on your own. And please enjoy.
My information is on, I think was on the last slide. So if you have any questions and you know how to reach Dr. Gsir𝗓, you can always reach me. As I said, I'm a plant-based nutritional coach. I can, if you contact me and say, hey, I'm allergic to this, I can always give you ideas or alternatives to, tweaking the recipe to what suits your body and things like that. So it does help to talk to somebody else sometimes, instead of saying, oh, I just can't eat it because I'm allergic to this or things like that. And in this last recipe, if you guys are allergic to peanuts, just skip it. You don't have to add peanuts. It's just to enhance the flavor a little bit. But say you're allergic to peanuts but you're not allergic to sesame, you can just add that. So it's just to add a little bit of protein and healthy fats that we get from peanuts or sesame seed. So but it's, you can skip it. So yeah, so this is, I mean, I had removed it out of the pan, but it's still, let me actually switch it off and maybe put this back here.
Yeah, so you can see everything on the camera with the kale.
You can see how colorful and vibrant all the different, colorful vegetables that you use. And here, I added dino kale. You can add any green leafy vegetable that suits you, that you have handy. And you can even, meal prep this and freeze it and then defrost it just when you're getting ready to go to work. So this is almost like a one pot meal. You don't have to, use multiple pots. You saw, right? I just used one pot and then we were done. So, but
So just one point, someone asked Dan Buettner, what is the one superfood to start with? And his answer was the sweet potato.
yes.
So if you can't buy the purple, just buy the American sweet potato,
And
which
that's
is
what I
easy.
said, any
Yeah.
sweet potato of your preference. Right. So, and beans. So
right.
And just remember that, food is one component. Make, like Dr. Garg had, summarized, right? Inculcate exercise in your life, exercise every day, some kind of, movement. You don't have to go to the gym. Even if you can do 15-20 minutes of, say jumping jacks or some kind of strength training from your, house, that's good enough. And, anybody can walk. So, and everybody has some kind of space to walk, either outside or just within their house, they can just do that. And spirituality and things like that. So I think that's a question for you, Dr. Berg. So,
oh yeah, the question is, how do you at kickstart.pcrm.org.
There's an app also.
With an app as well, and it's the easiest way to get into it. So Dr. Barnard's suggestion is you start with one meal a day, plant-based, the following week 2, and the following week 3. And let's say someone, is not into plant-based, they're the opposite. I would say to start with, again, one meal a day, then 2, then 3. But if you're going to suggest foods, start with one piece of fruit every day. Start with one sweet potato every day. Those are easy foods to digest and transition. So there definitely is a transition period of the digestive system to plant-based. You can't just start with 3 huge salads every day. You might have to ease into the fiber content.
Mm-hmm. And when somebody says plant-based, for folks who are not used to this lifestyle, they think that for the rest of their life, they have to eat only salads, which is not true, right? We are seeing that just in the span of 45 minutes, I showed 4 recipes. None of them were just some boring salad that you just take a bag and just add some kind of dressing. It doesn't have to be everything. There is a lot more variety when you switch to the plant-based. There are so many vegetables out there that we just look at the grocery store, don't know how to cook. And these days there are so many recipes on the internet that you can just download and Google search and then find out and then incorporate it on your daily life.
Absolutely.
So, and if for folks who are just starting off and they think that they get tempted, oh, I have a party to go to, or I have to meet this person at the restaurant. Most restaurants, if you tell them that, hey, I'm allergic to oil or I'm allergic to animal products, they're always willing to prepare you, even if it's the smallest dish, they're always willing to prepare some kind of plant-based dish. And when you evolve and eventually stop eating oil, and you can call the restaurant up front and ask them, hey, can you make me something without oil? And if they say no, then ask them, can I bring my own, container full of food from home? And most of the time they say yes, because they don't want you to fall sick by eating something that they're not able to prepare and serve you. Right. So,
and they don't want to lose the business of everyone else in the party. Yeah. So the thing is, now it's become so mainstream, restaurants understand. So as speaking of recipes, I would say for recipes, you want to go to pcrm.org/recipes. Mm-hmm. And then there are many other recipe ideas.
Forks Over Knives.
Forks Over Knives has an app where the recipes are there. And then especially forksoverknives.com. The movie is actually free to watch on their website.
It's free to watch on the website. And then the Live to 100 is on Netflix. So, and if it's not available in your local country or the Netflix, you can always buy not Dr. but Dan Buettner's book. You can read the book. It has a lot more information as well. So,
and giving a plug for my company's page, If you go to plantwisefilm.com, you can view a 45-minute presentation on how employees of Advent Health have benefited from going fully plant-based. And then also Advent Health has a book called Eat Plants, Live Whole by Dr. George Guthrie. And there's now a Eat Plants, Live Whole cookbook that if you search, you'll find it on Advent Health. And yeah, there was a question about carnivore. So even if someone is mostly eating meat, they can shift little by little. And within 3 to 4 weeks, they can become fully plant-based if they would like. That's what we are here for. And there are many coaches around the country with Food for Life who give presentations and are available for coaching.
It actually, the other thing is, like what you said when you started off, right? It's, you need to come up with a very strong why. Why do you want to switch to this lifestyle? Why do you want to start eating a lot more plants? Why do you want to eat a lot more fiber? So I think that would be a great first step, because then when that question gets answered, consistency becomes very easy and self-discipline becomes very easy. So but yeah, so I think we got it, and I'm sure, I'm hoping that you guys got a chance to download the recipes. And
yeah, the link for Plantwise is at the bottom of the chat that you can find, and the recipes are also listed at the bottom of the chat. And also the presentation, if you'd like to download, it's there for you. So please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.